In any survival situation, one thing becomes more important than anything else: water. But what do you do when the streams are dry and there's not a cloud in the sky? Well, the solution might just be hanging on a branch right next to you. Learning to see the landscape not as an obstacle, but as a lifeline, that's the real skill. So let's get into how it's done. First up, we're going to talk about the biggest threat out there: dehydration. Then we'll get into our secret weapon, the plants all around us. I'll show you a really cool technique using just a plastic bag. We'll check out some other plant sources, and we'll finish up by talking about how this knowledge does way more than just quench your thirst. It actually builds a survivor's mindset. Okay, so before we can find the solution, we've got to have a healthy respect for the problem. And out in the wild, believe me, nothing will take you down faster than dehydration. It's like a silent clock that starts ticking the second you realize you're in trouble. Now this right here, it flips everything we think we know upside down. We're wired to worry about our next meal, right? But in a survival situation, that instinct is a trap. Your body literally can't process food without water. So finding a water source isn't just priority number one, it is the only priority, period. This chart isn't just a bunch of data, it's a terrifying timeline of what happens to your body. And look how fast things go downhill. At just 1 to 5% water loss, you're already getting impatient, making bad decisions. By the time you hit 6%, you're dizzy, you can't walk straight, and from there, your body just starts shutting down. The takeaway is simple: you have to solve this problem before you're even close to that 6% mark. A quart of water an hour. Just think about that. It's a staggering amount. So when the obvious sources are gone, where do you even begin to look? Well, it's time to start looking at the world around you in a completely new way. And that brings us right to the heart of it. The solution is almost always right there, hiding in plain sight. It's time to stop just seeing the forest and start seeing the water. Realizing this is a massive mental shift. Every single leaf, every vine, every stalk you see is part of this incredible system constantly pulling water up from the ground. Your job is to learn how to intercept it. And once you do, the world around you is no longer just scenery, it's a reservoir you can tap into. So, how do we actually do it? Well, one of the most brilliant and simple survival techniques out there requires just one piece of gear: a plastic bag. That's it. With this, you can turn a leafy branch into your own personal water factory. The science behind this magic trick is called transpiration. Basically, plants are constantly breathing out water vapor from their leaves. It's this invisible process that's happening all day long. All we're going to do is find a way to capture that breath. And the process couldn't be easier. You just find a nice sunny branch with lots of green leaves, slip a clear bag over it, pop a small rock inside to weigh it down, and create a collection point, then tie the bag off nice and tight. Now you just wait. The sun does all the work, and pretty soon you'll see pure, drinkable water collecting in the bottom. A good one can get you up to a pint a day. The transpiration bag is an absolute game changer, for sure. But it's not the only trick in the book. In a survival situation, the more options you have, the better. So let's add a few more tools to your mental toolkit. Nature's actually pretty clever. For instance, if you find green bamboo, give a stalk a shake. A lot of times you can literally hear water sloshing around inside. Or with a cactus, like the prickly pear, you can carefully peel the pads and get to the moist pulp inside. And here's a pro tip for woody vines like grapevines: always cut the vine as high up as you can reach first, and then cut it down low. Gravity will do the rest and drain the water right out for you. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. This is a huge warning. The water you get from a plant will have the properties of that plant. If you use a poisonous plant, you will get poisonous water. It's that simple. Your knowledge of what's safe and what's not is your most important tool, so be 100% sure of your plant ID before you try any of this. And that brings us to the final and maybe the most critical piece of the puzzle. Learning these skills isn't just about finding water. It's about mastering your own mind when everything goes wrong. Look, when you're lost, panic is the real enemy. It's so easy to just freeze up. But the second you take action, the second you start calmly looking for the right branch and setting up your transpiration bag, everything changes. You stop being a victim of your situation and you start being a problem solver. And that feeling of purpose, it's the ultimate antidote to fear. The thing about the wilderness is it always provides, but only if you know how to see. So now you know how to look at a leafy branch and see a drink of water. But that same landscape holds food, shelter, and fire. The resources are all there, hiding in plain sight. The only question is, what will you learn to see next?